Joanns, and welcome back to my channel. This is Nova Gnome Creations, and I'm Nova, and I am so happy that you decided to join me today. I hope you guys are having a beautiful day and that you're taking care of the best that you can. Hopefully you guys had a good weekend. Let me know if you did anything fun. I did end up going to Joanns. I will insert a clip here. I don't know, I did end up going. I was clearly going when I told you guys on Saturday. I'll insert, well, not right here, but I'll insert a clip into this video of, I literally took one clip at Joanns, so I'm not going to make like a whole video about it, but, they had boxes everywhere. I'm so glad we walked the whole store, because when we first came in, we found one aisle. Well, it was like one aisle, but both sides of the aisle, and it was just full of like 3 different colors of yarn. There were literally like 30 boxes of like hot pink big twist, and like huge boxes just like lined up, all of them like with their fronts completely open. And I can't remember what other colors there were, but like the overwhelming impression that I got in the aisle was, that's a lot of hot pink. And we were like, at first we were really confused. We didn't see any more yarn at all. And we were like, is this all they have? Okay, maybe we're going to need to like go to a different Joann's. Because that was the plan, was like, okay, we'll go here. Hopefully they'll have like a good yarn supply. If they don't, we'll like hunt down the next Joann's. Because we went to Houston to go to Joann's because we don't have one near here. And Houston, I think, has multiple in Houston. So it was like, okay, we'll go to this one, and then if it's a bust, we'll find another one to go check. I know that there are multiple like within a pretty decently close distance up in that area anyway. Of course, traffic and everything doesn't mean that they're that close together, because if you've ever driven in Houston, the traffic can be pretty crazy. But anyway, so it ended up working out. We went ahead and just like walked the store, and we ended up finding like 3 different yarn sections. And like as we would find them, we kept finding like the better, like what we were looking for. So what I was looking for when I went to Joann's was, I wanted to stock up on some of their value acrylic. They had a lot of like gorgeous blanket yarn and like fun yarns. And I kept like grabbing them, putting them in my cart, and then being like, no, I can't, and having to take them out, because I had a budget, you know what I mean? Like I had a budget, and yes, those yarns are 50% off, but like they're still $5.99 or whatever a skein. So that adds up really quick. And I was able to, and what I intended on doing when I went in was get like stocking up on their value acrylic, because their value acrylic is one of my absolute favorite acrylic yarns. It's what I prefer to use Big Twist value acrylic, which is one of the reasons why I've been so upset about them closing. I love it. It's so soft, and their prices are usually pretty good when you get them on like a sale. So I was really happy that eventually we did end up finding like where the actual value acrylic was, not just that one aisle with like 30 boxes of one shade, 30 boxes of another shade. And so I was able to stock up on that, and I was so happy. It was like a little over $2 a skein, because they're at 50% off. By the way, if you didn't know, they are like all at 50% off minimum now. Last week, I think on like Wednesday or something, they all went 50% off minimum for yarn. I don't know if they're planning on going higher than that, but 50% off is like a pretty good price. I mean, for some of those yarns, you can never get them like at 50% off. Their value acrylic, I hadn't like stocked up in a while on it. The prices that they were at was kind of what I would buy them at when I would get them on sales in previous like times when I would stock up. But I do think that their prices went up in general since then. So like, it was still, I think, a little bit of a better deal than like when they do their big like Black Friday sales and things like that, which is when I normally stock up. So I was very happy about that. I don't know why. Is this the inside? Oh yeah, okay, this is the inside. Sorry, I saw a tail sticking out. You know, while I'm talking, I'm going to work on this. This is supposed to be like a Crochet Chat type situation, and I'm just sitting here blabbing and not crocheting. I'll show you what I'm working on here in just a second. But yeah, I was able to stock up, and I got some, the reason that I was wanting to get the value acrylic, by the way, it's not just that it's like my favorite acrylic. It's also that I primarily make amigurumi, and primarily being an amigurumi maker, I mostly use like solid color acrylics. But they're not fun to buy necessarily. And so I always try to buy them when they're on sales, because then I can shop my stash when I need colors. Because that's how I crochet. I almost never just run out and buy yarn for a project, because I am a crocheter on a budget, and the way that I'm able to do what I do is I shop my own stash when I need yarn for projects, unless it's like, you know, oh, I need one shade I don't have, then I'll run out and grab it. Which is usually from Hobby Lobby, because unfortunately they are the only local place that sells yarn. Well, we have Walmart, but Walmart doesn't really carry yarn. So yeah, we never had like a Joanns, we don't have a Michaels, and the big sad. I was saying to my hubby, I think that Hirschner's should open some brick and mortar locations. I was telling him I wasn't sure if they had brick and mortar locations, because my impression of them is that they were probably like a mail order catalog business, and then they went online, you know, with the growing of the internet type of thing. That's just my impression, though. I don't actually know. But I was like, they should open some brick and mortar locations, and they should open them here, because I want to be able to go yarn shopping in person. I saw a short or a reel or whatever, you know, the short form videos, where somebody was at, I think it was Spot Saver. No, it wasn't Spot Saver. What was it? Some sort of like little craft store chain that's in the UK. I don't remember. It might have been Spot Saver. I don't know. Don't quote me. I don't know. And I was like, ooh, what yarn store is that? Because I saw like the thumbnail, and I was watching it, and I was like, I want to go. But yeah, so I was able to do that, and my goal was that I wanted to get a stash of little yarn fluff ball. I'm working on kind of weaving in a few of these tails. They don't have to be woven in great, because this is just the inside of the giant gnome hat. But anyway, what I wanted to do was get some of the colors I use a lot. So I wanted to get like a couple skeins of black, a couple skeins of white. Like I think I got 2 or 3 skeins of black and white. You know, just like colors that I knew that I needed in my stash. And I haven't put it away yet. It's still in bags, because I really need to clean up my yarn stash area. I'm looking at it, and it is like a tornado right now. I honestly it takes forever to go through and take everything off the shelves and like put it back on, like a weirdly large amount of time. But I kind of want to like redo it, like take everything off and just completely redo it. But yeah, I need to situate that. It's like a bomb went off over there. But yeah, so I had a very successful haul. I got lots of value acrylic. I'm not even sure how many skeins I got. It was so funny when I was checking out. The girl that was checking me out gave me the receipt, and she said, "Here's your CVS receipt," because you guys know the joke about the CVS receipts being super long. So that was really funny. But yep, I was good. I put into my cart things that were not value acrylic so many times. Like, I had to take out things a lot. Things are very unorganized, by the way. I don't know about your Joanns, for those of you that have been able to go, or that have one local, or, you know, traveled to one or whatever. Ours that we went to, I shouldn't even say ours. It's not like, I think it was my first time ever going to that Joann's. It was a hot mess. A lot of the yarn didn't even have prices, too, which, like I said, before we found the value acrylic, I was getting really frustrated, because I was seeing a lot of yarns I wanted, but I was like, I have no idea how much these are, because all the yarn that they're getting, like, just like boxes and boxes off the trucks, they're just setting up open, which is fine, except for they're not putting prices on them. So just so you know, I did check to check prices at some point. The Joanns app, even though you can no longer make orders through the Joanns app to like order yarn, delivered or whatever, like they literally shut that down pretty much as soon as they announced they were closing. You still can use the app to check prices in store. So, just so you know, if you're in there and you guys have that problem too. Okay, so now I'm going to show you guys what I'm actually working on. Okay, this is my giant gnome body. If you remember, I was talking about wanting to stuff it with this comforter that I have, because I have this really cute Pokemon comforter that's pink. I absolutely love it. It's like the first time I've ever been able to find something that was like pink of Pokemon bedding. Usually they're all more like blue and boyish colors. So I absolutely love this blanket. However, it pilled really bad, and so I'm not going to get rid of it, but I won't use it either because I don't like the feeling of the pilling against my skin. So I was like, okay, you know what's perfect? I'll save it by putting it in here and using it to like fill out my gnome body. My thought process, at least up until now, like we'll see when I actually get to it, but my thought process has been I won't attach the hat. I want to do maybe like a Velcro attaching situation, but the idea was that I wanted to make it so that I could change out the hat and make like little outfits for it and accessories for it and different hats for it over time. So I don't want to, or I don't think I want to attach the hat. But so that means that like my blanket being in here, it's not just like forever, like stuck inside of here. The whole idea is that I should be able to just take it out. So I'm thinking I might use it to just like store blankets and things like that. But anyway, I've got the blanket in here and it didn't fill this up as much as I was hoping it would. It actually filled it up even less on this other side. But you get the idea anyway. It's more filled up on this side, so this is the side I'm going to show you guys. So this is the gnome body. Gnome body knows. There we go. And I've kind of got it in the background so you guys can see it. And then the hat that I've been working on is like a super flared out hat. I'm not sure if it's done yet, but still attached on down there. But it's like a super flared out hat, like mega flared. Mega flare, that's so funny. It's a Pokemon thing. But here we go. Here's the hat. I'm not sure how much of it you guys can see. But that's what it looks like. And I'm doing all of this in like blanket yarns. But not all the blanket yarns are made the same like thickness. So I'm single stranding the Bernat blanket yarn, or no, actually I think some of these other ones are Bernat blanket yarn too. So this is Bernat baby blanket sparkle, and it seems way thicker and more like a solid strand, more so than some of the other ones, because actually this is also Bernat, and I double stranded it with, I think it's Big Twist Cuddle, because that Bernat blanket yarn that this other one is like not as solid. Like, I don't know, this just, you can even tell just by looking at it how solid this looks. And then this is actually double stranded. Is this one double stranded? Yeah, that's double stranded. I was trying to see if it was double or triple, because actually the further I get into it, there's some I triple stranded. So single stranding, double stranding, single. This I believe is triple stranded. And in here I've got some different blanket yarns, and I think also a velvet yarn. And then I went ahead and double stranded down here with the Bernat baby blanket sparkle, because I did some double crochets. So they're like, a less solid stitch than a single crochet is. So I double stranded it to make it more solid. And then I brought in this super bulky yarn, literally the chunkiest yarn. And I've had this for a long time. I got it for my birthday a couple of years ago. I would say probably 3 years ago, actually. And I got like one skein of each color for my birthday. And I was like, these are so soft and so pretty, and the sparkle is gorgeous, but I had no idea what I was going to do with them. And I used a couple of them, maybe like a couple of years ago, to make this like little froggy dog bed. If you had been around, you probably saw that. It was like very random, very free-handed. But that's the only thing I'd ever done with it. So I was like, oh, this is perfect. I'll bring that in for the brim, and it'll make it like super thick and chunky and poofy. It is so chunky. And I didn't use, it recommends like a 25 millimeter hook. I just went ahead and kept using my 10 millimeter. This is my favorite 10 millimeter hook that I have. But what I did was I used a very loose tension. Like, I was just very loosely pulling my loops through and stuff and trying to keep it like not tight whatsoever, because obviously this yarn is way too thick to be working with a 10 millimeter, to be honest, just to give you guys an idea. So basically I was just using it to pull through what I needed to pull through, but not really trying to like keep any sort of tension. I was just pulling up big loops basically. And that worked out really well. I think I did, believe it or not, these are single crochets. So they're pretty tall single crochets because, like I said, I was pulling up big loops of yarn when I was doing it. This is so solid and so thick. Like, I don't know if you guys can like really truly understand how thick this is. Very thick, very solid. I did single crochets. And then these are double crochets, I believe. Yeah, I think these are double crochets. But yeah, it's crazy. They may even be triples. I don't know. I don't remember exactly what I was doing. I worked on this recently, but not like the last week or so, so I've already forgotten what I was doing. But yeah, this is like a combination of stitches and a combination of yarns. It is super flared out, but this is kind of, I'm just going to leave this like, wow, that actually looks terrible. I'm going to leave it kind of blobbed up because there's no way for this to hold its shape like in its actual height. But I just want to be able to show you guys like a concept of what it's going to look like. The hat is a lot bigger than the gnome body, so like this will billow down, and I feel like you can't really get a very good feel for it. No. Epic fail. Epic fail. Kind of an idea. There you go. Well, anyway, about it. Obviously, this is all free-handed. No pattern whatsoever. I have a lot of partial skeins of blanket yarn that I'm using. Oh, look. A lovely knot. And then I've got, like, okay, so this is Baby Blanket Sparkle. Bernat Baby Blanket Sparkle. I absolutely love Bernat Baby Blanket Sparkle. They had some gorgeous Bernat Baby Blanket Brights, and I wanted them. Or I don't know if it's Baby Blanket. I don't know, the Brights ones. I wanted them at Joanns. But alas. Budget. I don't know if you guys can see, but they're super sparkly. It's one of the reasons I just love this. It's just got a beautiful sparkle. But then I also have this. This is Big Twist Cuddle, I believe. And I just want to show you like the thickness difference between these strands. Like, it's the solidity. I don't know if that's what I want to say, but you can even tell just like that. But like the solidness of the strand is completely different. Like, this can just compress down into like so much less, and this has like a very like thick, like it's not going to compress as much, which is why, oh, is this attached to something? I don't think so. Is it? Yes, it is. Okay. Okay, good. I didn't like pull it out. That's the reason that I'm double stranding some of them. Now, I'm using these for the feet. I'm using this one for the feet. So the feet are just going to be little balls. I haven't worked on the feet in forever. I did these like a million years ago. I actually did them on a video with you guys. There is like pet hairs all over this black yarn. But anyway, they're just going to be little balls. This isn't stuffed or anything. And they're just going to be like little, you know, like he's sitting down and they're, or she's sitting down or whoever's sitting down and they're just sticking out kind of thing. If I even end up putting feet on there, I don't know. But I did have that going, and then I started working on the arms, and I think that the arms are going to be so cute. So I have one of them, the like beginning of it done. Thought I would show it to you guys. Oh yeah, I was going to show you this other yarn. Oh, I think one of them is too far away. This one, I believe, is... This one might be Big Twist Cuddle. But you can just tell, like, the thickness difference. I feel like. But anyway about it, I've got, like, little bits of yarn everywhere for this. This is going to be the hand. It's so cute. I can literally wear it on my own hand. Like a little fist. You want to go? Want to go? So what I did for this was I started with a white Bernat Baby Blanket Sparkle, and I put a little thumb on there and everything. This is just like a series of like bobble stitches type situation. And I switched to yellow. I did one row of single crochets in yellow, and then I did a front loop only round of triple crochets, which is what this is. And then I went into the back loop only and did stitches there and then continued out. And then this, I just flipped it up to make a little cuff. So I wanted the cuff to be noticeable enough, you know, with it being blanket yarn and having the thumb and everything. I felt like the cuff needed to be pretty big to like really like give that impression of like a little cuff. But that is what the hand looks like. It's going to get longer arms than this. The reason I stopped there was I wanted to do the other hand while I had it fresh in my mind what I did for this one. Just because, like you saw with some other parts of it, my memory is not the greatest sometimes when it comes to like what I did for things. And if I do the whole arm and then go back to do the hand, I might forget what I did. And like obviously these hands are like pretty specific. So, especially like this, and like also just the stitch counts. I remember I did a row of 6 single crochets, and then I did a round of increases, and I actually did another round of increases, which is not how I typically increase. I don't normally do like 2 back-to-back full increase rounds like that, but that's what I wanted to do for the shaping. So like I just wanted to make sure I remembered those things when I went to do the second hand so that it doesn't come out like totally different. But that's what the arms are looking like. Obviously, like I said, they're going to be longer than that. The hat's going to like collapse as I try to show you. I really need to like get this full of stuff so I can like start putting it together and seeing the way it's looking. But the big gnome is coming along, guys. Like I would say we're actually getting fairly close to being done with it at this point. So yeah, I just wanted to do like a little crochet and chat, hang out, tell you guys how Joanne's trip went. This is the white Bernat Baby Blanket, by the way. I've got like a full ball of this. I kind of hoard these. And the funny thing is, I was telling my hubby, I was like, yeah, like I don't want to use them. Like I don't want to waste my, my Bernat Baby Blanket Sparkle. But then I'm like, what do you mean waste it? It's literally like, you got to be able to like let yourself use it for your projects. Why is the giant gnome project not a valid project for your Bernat Baby Blanket Sparkle that you've been hoarding for 17 years? So, I am using all of my different blanket yarns and whatnot, and I've mostly went through like I've got like little scrap balls now. Some of these I actually completely used up their colors, and I need to ball this up. But I also incorporated this like shiny yarn. Let's see if I can reach it. Oof. I've had this shiny yarn ever since I started crocheting. Actually, before I started crocheting years ago, I got this at Meijer. It was when I was living in Michigan still. because we don't have Meyer down here in Texas. And this was one of the first yarns I bought. I bought a couple of velvet yarns because I went into the store and I was like, oh, wow. Like, and I had just started getting into loom knitting. I had some looms, you know, just like the round looms you make hats on and stuff like that. And I made some scarves. Well, I went in because I had my looms and I wanted to get some yarn that I could use on my looms. And I bought a couple different velvet yarns because obviously if I was like a complete newbie, had no idea what I was doing, I was going to go for the coolest looking yarns. So I was like, oh, these ones are so shiny and so soft and so pretty. The other ones were like Bernat crushed velvet and stuff, and I did use those ones. I struggled with this one because I didn't realize like it was so thin. This yarn is really, really thin and very, very compressible. And I really struggled with what project to use for this. So this yarn has been around forever. I've tried using it in various things. It's just so soft, so thin, so compressible. It just doesn't work for most things. And it's very like slippery and everything too. But triple stranding it, I triple stranded it in this, actually all the way from here to here. It's part of the triple strand. So it's finally getting a home, and honestly it's cool that it's going into my giant gnome because it is like the first yarn I ever bought. This, and I think it was like the purples, you know, the crushed Bernat, the Bernat crushed velvet, the one that has like the 3 different shades of like purple and purple pink. That was the other one that I bought as my first yarn. And then I think there was like another solid purple, like velvet purple, but I don't remember what one it was. Like I don't remember. It was probably also Bernat, but I don't know. But anyways, guys, that's what I am working on today. I'm working on these arms. Oh, I'm going to work on this other hand, see if I can get these arms knocked out. And I finally did put the blanket in there. It did not take up as much space inside of here as I thought it would at all. So I am going to be like figuring out what else I want to stick in here. But I hope you guys have a beautiful rest of your day. I hope you enjoyed hanging out with me for a little bit today. I will see you guys again real soon. Bye, guys.